We're now in verse 16. For where a will is involved, the death of the one who made it must be established. For a will takes effect only at death, since it is not in force as long as the one who made it is alive. The idea here is that we have a will as in the sense of a last will and testament, and the one who made the will dies because you don't get the inheritance promised by the will while the one who made the will is still alive. Okay, that's the sense of it. I am of the opinion that that's not a good translation. Let me go to another translation, Young's literal translation, YLT. Verse 15, and because of this, of a new covenant he is mediator, that, death having come, for redemption of the transgressions under the first covenant, those called may receive the promise of the age-during inheritance. For where a covenant is, the death of the covenant victim to come is necessary. For a covenant over dead victims is steadfast, since it is no force at all while the covenant victim lives. So what he's done is he has changed the sense of this dramatically. And instead of dealing with a last will and testament, what you are talking about is the sacrificed lamb. And what he's saying is a covenant is not ratified as long as the lamb is alive. And it's only the death of the lamb that ratifies the covenant. Now, why do I think that's a better translation than the one I read out of the English Standard, or you can read in King Jimmy, or any of the other translations? The best argument I have heard for that is this is a Hebrew document, and Hebrews don't use wills. The division of property is decreed by birth. So the firstborn gets a double portion, and the remainder is divided up. So the idea of doing last will and testament, where little Johnny gets the bicycle and Susie gets the silver and, all that kind of stuff, is foreign to Hebrew culture. So the idea then that the writer here would switch over to a Roman legal system to describe the death of Yeshua is sort of a disconnect, because the death of Yeshua is an extremely Hebrew thing. It makes a lot more sense to me that what we're talking about is Yeshua is the covenant victim, the lamb who is slain. And until that lamb is slain, there is no covenant.